You're listening to the Small Business Talk podcast with Cathy Smith.
Small Business Talk is a podcast for business owners and entrepreneurs who want a better way to run their businesses without spending years doing it the hard way. Small Business Talk is hosted by Cathy Smith, who has run the same marketing agency for more than 17 years and helped hundreds of business owners achieve their marketing goals.
Welcome to Small Business Talk, episode 201. Oh, wow. Have you listened to episode 200? It was so good. We had so many guests. We had 9 guests, and we were talking about future-proofing your business. We were talking about all the different ways that we can future-proof our business. And each of the guests had a different perspective, from being innovative to making sure you're up with technology, to watching your mind, to making sure that you're a good business person and have a great business. So if you haven't listened to episode 200, definitely go back and do that. So today is 201. So calm a little, come down off the high of 200. You never know, we might end up with another 200. Let's see how we go. A couple of the guests suggested we should be aiming for 500. Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, we're on 201 today. So I thought the topic could be talking to nobody. Got a couple of different spins on that. But basically, if you're talking to nobody, it could be about your content. It could be that you're putting lots and lots of content out there. You're not getting any engagement to do it. If you're trying to take people off the platform, if you're adding links to your content, you're definitely not playing it by their rules and you won't get any engagement. So if you're seeing very low engagement, no engagement, then there's a couple of reasons why it can be. But think about the content that you're actually putting out. Is it addressing people's pain points? Is it specific? Do you have a clear message? Or is it a bit, could be this way, could be that way, and people are not really sure? I always like to use the analogy of Facebook. Facebook started in one university, in one campus in America. Once they got that sorted, then they went to a second campus. And then they went to other universities. And after that was world domination. They didn't start with world domination. They built up to it by speaking specifically to one person, to that student that was in the dorm right there and then. And then they got their audience wider. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They think, if I only talk to one person, then I can't talk to anybody else. So if you picture a dartboard, you've got the bullseye right in the middle of that dartboard. If you're aiming for that bullseye, chances are you might get the bullseye or you might hit a little bit further out. But if you're aiming for the outside, you've got no chance of hitting that bullseye. So if your message is very specific and very clear, then people are going to resonate with it. You're going to get people that are a little bit further out of that bullseye that will also resonate with it. And then you might get a little bit further and further. But people are going to understand what you're talking about. Some people are going to be driven away by that. And that's actually perfect, because you don't want to be spending your time and energy on people that are never going to be your clients, not interested in what you're selling, and don't have the need for your solution. So think about what your message is. Who do you need to be talking about? Sometimes it's easy to visualize a person. Who's your best customer? The person that pays on time, the person that's happy with your services, the person that takes your advice, does your suggestions. Who is that person? Put a name on that person. Think about that person when you're doing your copy, when you're doing content, when you're doing anything related to your business. Is that going to work for that person? But you might be saying, I have several of those people. Well, that's great. If you've got several, then you need to do it in different ways. But you can't put all of that into one piece of content. If you're talking to parents, and then you're talking to children, and then you're talking to teachers, they're 3 completely different things. And the way that you would talk to each of those 3 segments are different. Sometimes your people can be closely related. Other times they can be a long way away. So start with one of your categories, get that sorted, and then think of the others. And you might find there's some categories that no longer serve you. So maybe they need to be pushed off to the side, put into a side hustle, or maybe it's something you just don't do anymore. As we have to adapt and business changes, sometimes we've got to let go of a few of those products or services so that we can have others. I've done that with my coaching business. I was originally doing coaching for transitions for people, particularly women that were transitioning from empty nesting. They had children at home who had moved out. But now I've transitioned back into marketing coaching. The universe had said marketing's my gig, so I'm back doing marketing coaching. But I'm coaching coaches how to market themselves. So sometimes as businesses grow, evolve, and change, you need to get rid of some of those products so that you can bring in others. It might be the same case with your services. You need to do that as well. Are you being on point with your content? Are you making sure that that's going to work for you and your customers? Are their pain points the same as they used to be? Is that something you need to change? Think about it. When was the last time you actually spoke face-to-face with a customer, a loyal customer that's been with you for a long time? Have their needs changed? Or are you spending all your time searching for new customers? If you're only looking for new customers, you might find that your loyal customers drop off because you're not looking after them anymore. So there's, like I said, a couple of ways we can think about talking to nobody. So it's if you're not getting any engagement, if you're not getting that buy-in, and if you're trying to talk to too many people at once. If you're always trying to be that somebody for everybody, you'll tend to find that you will definitely be nobody. So think about the way that you can really hone your message. Make sure it is clear. Make sure that you are speaking to that one person and get your marketing absolutely on point. Then you can think about how you can do other things. A good way to do that is to start to really focus on one platform. So if you're spread across multiple platforms in your social media, start by doing your content for one. Pick the one where your customers are, maybe the one you like best if that's where your customers are. And then think of that one piece of pillar content. What can you do that can then be used on those other platforms? But you're writing it or you're saying it or you're recording it for that one customer and that one platform, the way they like it. So if it's video, then it can be transcribed into a blog. Then from those blogs, you can cut out snippets and maybe use it as a shorter video or use that written content to then make posts and images and that sort of thing. So there's lots of ways you can use your pillar content, but make sure you're being very focused and concentrating on what it is that you're talking about, as opposed to trying to spread yourself way too thin, to having a very vanilla message that nobody will listen to. So when we did our 200 episode, we had lots of great content. We have lots of great guests. So we've got quite a few interesting podcast episodes coming up. So I hope that you will stick with us and enjoy those. So I'd love to hear your feedback, particularly on the 200th episode, and what else you would like to hear on Small Business Talk. So until then, SPT community, remember, enjoy your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to Small Business Talk podcast and head on over to smallbusinesstalk.com.au. Remember, to be great, you must start. Pick one tip from today's episode, take action and implement it. Let's meet again next week at the same time and place. Until then, take action. And SPT community, enjoy your journey.